First of all, thanks to UCEA for giving me this opportunity. I love talking about, well, anything really, but especially these topics related to website design and such, as I'll mention here in just a second. I began my career as a web designer and as a web design instructor in continuing education. And so the opportunity to talk about this and to better educate the community is near and dear to my heart. Today's topic is about converting your website visitors into students. So we're going to talk a little bit today about how to get people to your website, but the majority of our focus in today's presentation is going to be once people are on your website, how do we move them through what I'll introduce to you as a four-part marketing funnel to get them to become conversions or enrollments in your programs. As we get started, just a quick bit about our organization and myself, just to give you some context. So JMH Consulting is a continuing education consulting firm. We work exclusively with the adult education market. We do program management. I've been working with Emory University in Atlanta for about 7 or 8 years now, and know some of you from that affiliation. But we also do a good bit of marketing and really curriculum design strategy. What you'll find with our services in my presentation, again, this is to give you some context for what I'm talking about today. My background is that we began as a technology consulting firm, and so what you'll find is that a lot of our expertise is in the application of cutting-edge technologies and using data within this industry. So that's kind of the slant that I'll have in the presentation today is a very technology-driven, measurement-focused approach to getting the people on your website to convert and to become enrollments. Our agenda today is pretty simple. I'm going to introduce to you this 4-stage process for online conversion. I'm going to talk about the goals, techniques, and metrics in each one of those 4 stages. So we'll talk about them one by one, talking about what are you trying to accomplish, how do you do that, and then how do you measure it for each of the 4 stages as you're moving people through this conversion funnel. And then we'll pay particular attention to things that you can do to improve your conversion rate on your website. So what do you have control over? What can you manipulate to try to make the website more user-friendly, more attractive, more engaging to people so that they then become enrollees in your programs? I thought I would start today with just a very quick poll to give us a sense of where you guys are coming from and who the majority of our attendees are. So if you don't mind just participating, I'm going to launch this poll, and you should see it now on your screen. I'm going to give you just a minute or so to fill this in. What we're interested in is, what is your role with your website? Do you have direct control over it? Do you influence it? Just helps me to get a sense of where the majority of our attendees are coming from and what level of experience you have with hands-on versus making kind of executive level decisions about the website. So it looks like we've got about 75% of you who have voted, 82%, 86%. And we're up at about 90% now. So I'm going to give you just a few more seconds. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and close it, and we'll take a look at the results. So just to share back with you guys, what we're seeing here is it does look like the majority of people do have at least some direct control over the website and are actually working on it. And then the second largest group are people that have input into the website but not complete control, which isn't that unusual in a university setting, because usually in many cases the university has some parameters within which you'll be working. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that, but that is good to know that we've got at least some people who are actively managing the website. So here's a theme for this presentation. Online marketing is not a one-step activity. It's not something you do. And a lot of people you might think of online marketing, if you haven't had that much experience with it, as something like pay-per-click marketing or search engine optimization or email marketing, and all of those are pieces of it, but each thing you might think of as an online marketing activity is really going to be part of just one of the stages that I'm going to talk about. And so our big theme for this presentation is to help you kind of put a big picture perspective around the whole process of online marketing and understand that just, for instance, driving more people to your website through pay-per-click marketing is not necessarily going to generate a tremendous increase in registrations, because there's lots of other psychological states and processes that people are going to be going through before they're ready to convert. So all of this is an extended process that we have to make sure we're addressing each stage of so that we move people along. So let me introduce you to the 4 stages that I'm going to be talking about today. So the graphic you see here, we're going to go through them one by one. And for those of you that are marketers, you may be familiar with the AIDA model, AIDA. And this is what I'm going to share with you now is a variation on that that I use for online marketing, which begins with awareness. We've got to make people know that we exist. Then we move them to interest. We've got to get people interested enough to get to our website, and then once they're on our website, we've got to keep them there. And then we've got to engage with them. And this is the part that for many people on their websites is a little bit more challenging, because it involves creating engaging content like videos or polls or articles, things like that take a little bit more work to produce. We've got to engage them and then move them toward the final stage, which is conversion, which then centers around the checkout process on your website or forms that you might have on your website. So these are the 4 stages that we'll be exploring in more detail today: awareness, interest, engagement, and conversion. And let me give you another way that you might think about this 4-stage process. So the slide you're seeing right now is supposed to represent the world. This is your audience, your target audience. All of these people out there. Some of them are nurses, some of them look like they clean windows, some of them take photos, but these are all the people out there in the world that you would like to engage with and to provide education for. Well, the goal of online marketing, if you think specifically about online marketing, is to, first of all, create as much awareness as possible. You're never going to be able to make everyone aware of what you have to offer, but you at least want to make that sphere as large as you can and to build awareness. Then you want to get people interested. Obviously, not everyone that's aware of your services or your classes are going to be interested in them, but you want to do your best to increase the size of that. And then same thing with engagement. You want to engage as many people as possible once they're there on your website. And then finally, you want to convert people. And really, you can think of the goal of this online marketing process that we're talking about today to make each of these concentric circles as large as possible, to include as many people as we can in each of them, especially the center one, because that's the one that translates into dollars for your institution. Okay. So what happens when a stage breaks down? Okay, keep moving along. This happens when a stage breaks down. So I love this image because obviously someone has put hundreds of thousands, probably millions of dollars into building this fantastic bridge stretching across this waterway, and there's one tiny section missing. But without that one particular section, the entire rest of the structure is completely useless. You can't get from one side to the other. And this is the way I think about the 4 stages. This is the way I think about the 4 stages of online marketing, and that if there's even one stage in which your website is weak, then you're going to lose people. People are going to be driving off into the water. So our goal is to make sure not that we're just getting lots of people to our website or that our checkout process works well, but that every single interaction that they have as they move from awareness to conversion is solid so that we don't have any gaps in our bridge.